product went on sale and I made them like $56,000. So I decided to make a video and I got like thousands of followers overnight. Learn what a hook is. Don't have any dead space in your videos. Don't talk for a super long amount of time. I posted a mop, messed around and filmed. It was so fun. Like I got like 8,000 views overnight because I said like you've never mopped your floor until now. And then I did have a viral video that made me a good amount of money, probably made like $5,000 total.
How do you find those items that go on sale?
I'm starting to learn that you have to think a couple months ahead. So like if you're in October, we're thinking about Christmas.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to TikTok Shop Affiliate Academy, a podcast that uncovers the story and strategy from the top 1% of TikTok Shop affiliates. Don't forget to join our free community at affiliateacademyhq.com. I'm your host, Ivan. We have a very special guest today, Lyss. How you doing, Lyss?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great. Yeah, we live just down the street from each other. You know, she's in Northern California, I'm in Southern California, and yeah, you know, in your bio, you a mother of three. So me as well. I'm a dad of three, and we have that commonality. And then you also say here you're a therapist, so that's pretty cool. You have a day job and then TikTok shop.
Yep, that's it.
Love it. Okay, cool. So like a little bit of background. What were you doing before TikTok and TikTok shop, and then how did you stumble upon it?
Yeah, I was just kind of existing as a therapist mostly, and a mom. But yeah, I really had never messed around with TikTok much. I didn't have the app. I didn't really know about it. And then I saw that people were they sort of had this like collective movement of trying to get just normal people into the creator program so that people could make money. You remember kind of like when that was happening? And so I decided to make a video and just be like, hey, that's cool. Love that we're supporting each other. And I got like thousands of followers overnight. And I was like, that's interesting. And so I sort of was doing some things with that for a bit. And then I got into TikTok shop, had no idea what it was. And somebody was like, they started sending me links and being like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, I don't know what this is. What are you talking about? And then they kind of explained it and I looked into it. I was like, oh, that's what those videos are. Okay. So that's kind of where that all started.
Okay. So it started with maybe like, so you weren't even on TikTok at all. And then you heard about the creator program, and that's the program where you post, and then the views you get, you get paid for the number of views you get, right? Essentially.
Yes, exactly.
And what made you want to start that? I mean, that's kind of a big jump, right? Going from zero social media to like now kind of being a social media person. It just kind of seemed interesting to you at the moment. And what made you jump into that?
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of I saw it happening and I was like, I wonder if I can do it. And I'm competitive.
Yeah.
So I tried and I pick up things pretty quickly and realized that I had a lot of cute videos with me and my kids and knew how to put text over it that got people to care. So that worked.
I love
that's
it.
kind of what I was doing. And it was fun. I mean, I got in like maybe 3 weeks. It was pretty cool. And then I did have a viral video that made me a good amount of money for a bit. So that was fun.
Okay.
And yeah, then I started messing with TikTok shop after that.
Yeah, I love what I take away from that is like, don't overcomplicate things. Sometimes it could be just simple as like firing it up and posting some videos in your daily life. So cool. I like that. And then so when TikTok shop came about, you had brands reaching out to you, correct? Like you were a creator and then they're like, hey, would you like to make a video of my product? And then that's kind of what sparked your TikTok shop journey. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think because I had so many followers and they were like, perfect, you have a lot, but they weren't realizing what was happening, like why.
Yeah.
But regardless, yeah, I was like, sure, I'll try. And I picked a couple different things that I felt like matched me and it went pretty well. So
yeah. How many followers did you have kind of in that pre-TikTok shop phase?
Before I think I joined it when I was at like, I don't know, maybe 7,000. Like it was right before I hit the 10,000. So yeah, because I didn't know. I had this invite and I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So then like eventually someone told me what it was and I was like, oh, okay. So then I accepted it and then went from there.
Yeah, and that's enough to get TikTok shop, right? I don't know, it depends when you join TikTok shop, but 5,000.
Yeah, it used to be 5, which again I didn't realize. So that was but now I think they're all over the place of when
sometimes it's 1,000, sometimes it's 2,000.
Exactly.
So okay, so now you got these products that you're interested in. You started making videos. How were those first videos? How did they turn out for you? Did you feel weird? Was it success right away?
It was kind of weird. I just didn't realize. I mean, didn't realize that you shouldn't have dead space. Like one person gave me that they just messaged me and was like, "Hey, if you cut this out, that will help." And that was like, "Oh." And then someone was like, "Use a
Right.
light." I was like, "Okay." So that kind of stuff was really quick that I figured out. It wasn't
Yeah.
too long before I was like, oh, "Okay, like there's ways to do this." And then I learned what a hook was, and I was never in
Okay.
business. I didn't know what any of that was, but my husband was, so he could explain some of that stuff to me. So that was
Right.
helpful. But yeah, it was mostly like trial and error kind of.
Yeah, and then that's so cool because you had, I assume, affiliates that were reaching out to you with, tips and tricks on how to get better, right? You mentioned
Mhm.
hooks and lighting and empty space, etc. And yeah, so I guess they volunteer that information kind of as in comments to you, right? And you
Yep.
kind of improved, slowly improved as you kind of went on.
Yep, exactly, and I
Oh,
watched a
nice.
couple of things, like, looked it up once I was like, "What's a hook?" Someone said,
Yeah.
like, "Good hook," and I'm like, "What's a hook?" And then I learned what that was, and so, yeah, I mean, I did quick research and kind of figured it out from there.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So you started to make those videos, and I want you to take me to like the first viral moment, the first light bulb moment where you're just like, "Oh crap, this is pretty cool. They're making money. I'm making getting views." Like, talk me to that first viral TikTok shop moment.
Yeah, so that was for, a mop. I
Yep.
posted a mop. It was literally a sample that I had gotten that it was due, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I told my husband, "Hey, we're gonna mop the kitchen." He was like, "Great." So we got the mop
Yeah.
out and just, like, messed around and filmed. It was so fun. Like, we just had a blast for, like, half an hour, and then I just
Okay.
put it together, threw it up there, and it took off. And apparently there are incorrect ways to mop, and people are very, very opinionated about that. And it was interesting. So that's what
Yeah.
happened.
So we're
Mhm,
gonna review that video a little bit later on the segment where we kind of review the videos.
mhm,
But yeah, I definitely want to understand what that controversial moment is because that's another key part of a viral video is like
mhm,
controversy comments back and forth, etc. Okay,
mhm.
so you saw that first. What did virality look like? How many views did it have, or how much GMV did it generate for you?
Yeah, it's so at first it was like, I don't know, I got like 8,000 views overnight. And for me,
Okay,
at the big, I was like, wow, that's a lot. But
yeah,
I think it sold like one. It was kind of expensive. And then it went on sale and they pulled my ad code, which I used to just send all the time. So
yeah,
I didn't even remember I sent it like a month before that.
yeah,
And it just took off. Like, I just
yeah,
realized, I was like, "Why am I getting all these followers? What is going on?" So I think overall from that video, I probably made like maybe $5,000 total.
yeah,
So yeah, it's not like a that product hasn't been like insane, but it was a huge like that was big because it generated a lot of GMV for them, obviously. So that looked
yeah,
good. And I think it kind of opened the door for other
yeah.
opportunities. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's like that light bulb moment for yourself, right? Like, wait a minute, I made a ton of
Yeah.
money on this for a video that we kind of put together, right? And it's kind
Hmm.
of proof of concept. Now, how can I do more, right? And it kind of sparked
Exactly.
that fire.
Hmm.
Um, cool. So what do you think, you were making videos before, now you had that viral video. Like, what do you think, made that difference? Like from kind of making videos to like a viral video? Is it just putting in the reps? How did you go from like zero to hero?
I honestly think it was luck, and, like, I didn't realize I was being controversial when I did
Okay.
it, so people, like, actually caught like, there was a lot of, like, "Oh, honey, my grandma would be rolling in her grave when if she saw you mop it," like, that kinda thing, like, it was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this girl isn't just, like, an idiot, like, she actually doesn't know what she's doing." It was, like, one of those things, but
Yeah.
and because I said, which you'll see in the video, I said I point of view, like, "You've never mopped your floor until now," or something like that, and then people like, "You've never mopped before?" I didn't say it wasn't mopped, I said I didn't mop. So, like,
Yeah.
I kind of, like there was a little bit of strategy with, like, that, but I just thought it was funny. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, so I think that it honestly was just the product went on sale, number 1, and it was, like, way discounted, so that
Yeah.
was a big deal. The color was really popular, like,
Yeah.
so all of those things helped, I
How many
think.
videos do you think you posted from your first video to this video?
Oh, not many. I would say, like, maybe I was doing a couple a day, if even that, maybe or a couple a week at first. So
Mhm.
probably like 50 maybe
Oh,
before
really?
that.
Okay, so
And
that's
so it had only
pretty
been a
quick.
couple months.
Yeah, pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick. I like that. But still, I
Mhm.
mean, 50 videos, right? If you're gonna tell someone make 50 videos, it's gonna
Yeah.
you're on video 5 and not getting any
Yeah, and I was
conversions.
making a little bit like, that was kinda cool. The first time I ever posted, I actually did make a couple sales, which was
Yeah.
cool. So, like,
Okay.
that was nice, and then people were like, "What?" And got
Yeah.
mad at me. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I think it just depends. So
Okay, I think that's a good kind of intro into the looking at the video, right? Let's
yeah,
take a look at what that video is. So I'm gonna
sure.
pause. I'm gonna share my screen, and then we'll let it play.
Get it wet like this. This gets it wet. Assuming it's wet enough. This is fun. I don't even know what this is, but we're gonna go ahead and get it off. My kids are disgusting. Oh, well, that was satisfying. It came. Oh my gosh, I needed this so much earlier in my life. This is disgusting. Ugh. Clean it. We put it on here. We undo it. Oh my god. That is disgusting.
Well, this should be nice and clean now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually rad.
Yeah. This mop is surpassing my expectations by a lot. Looking so nice. So in order to dry it, you have to remove this little guy because otherwise it's just gonna put more soap on it. Moment of truth. How nasty are our floors? Oh. Oh my. Ew, it's so gross. That worked better than I ever expected it to. Mopping's fun. In summation, this thing is rad. You definitely need one. And I didn't know how much I needed one. Now I can't live without this thing. That orange shopping cart to grab yours. Don't mind me, I'll just be mopping for the rest of the night.
All right, very cool. Okay, so just for those kind of listening on, it's a mop. She's mopping her floor. Traditional mop it, squeeze it out, a lot of dirt, and kind of going from there. But you're gonna touch on this as well. But like she was doing mopping it a different way. I guess I wasn't aware of this either. But you're supposed to mop with the grain of the wood instead of against the grain, and that looking at the comments has a lot of kind of feedback or kind of people who were rubbed the wrong way. So yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. I'll pause here and kind of see what you thought about the video. Like, why do you think it went viral?
I honestly think, I mean, I had a couple hooks, right? Like not really knowing 100% what I was doing at that point.
Mhm.
I had seen someone else use the water, like starting it with noise, like putting it in a mop bucket.
Mm.
I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I just filmed that and figured that would be my opening. And then I used the written hook, which said something like, point of view, you never mopped your floors until now and discovered this. It didn't even really make sense. Like that inside, like looking at that now, I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. But like,
Yeah,
I think people, because I posted it like at midnight. It was so ridiculous. Like I was really just
right.
trying to meet a deadline. So I wasn't thinking that much about it. But like, I mean, I thought it was funny. And I
Hmm.
thought people might be like, oh, you never mopped before. I did not think people were gonna be like that, that into it. But yeah, I mopped the wrong way, apparently. I didn't even know what going with the grain meant. People kept saying that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So like there was a lot of pieces of that. People were like, oh my God, you can't put that, like, don't put that in your bathtub. I didn't know you're not supposed to. There's just a lot of stuff that like
Yeah.
obviously I didn't know what I was doing.
You're supposed to put it in your toilet or outside.
Apparently, yeah, I
Right.
didn't know that. So clearly I don't. And when like people were like, "You've never mopped your floor?" Like I never said that the floor had never been mopped. I said I
Yeah.
never mopped my
Right.
floors.
Yeah. So
So
just so many things in there. It's like, and I repeat it every time on this. When I see viral videos, it's like it's controversy, right? Like, like I've had affiliates manufacture controversy, like putting things in the background, etc.
yeah.
And then kind of, whether you didn't do any of these intentionally, correct?
It
Kind
was
of
just
happened.
yeah, it just happened to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
cool. I mean, so do you try to create controversy in some of the videos, knowing that it kind of could result in more? It's just kind of you just put them out
No, I
there.
tend to kind of not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like every once in a while, if I'm really fired up about something, I will. But for the most part, no, that's not really my. I would rather it just be like a good product. I guess that's why I kind of use the bottom of like what you're gonna that what we were talking about earlier, like a bottom of a funnel thing, because I tend to look for products that are on sale and then just kind of
Yeah.
give that urgency and explain why I like it or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't typically go into the controversy side too much. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned it earlier, but we have a treat here because Lyss has a couple different styles that she likes to have in her videos, and she mentioned it a little bit ago. But one of them is bottom of the funnel, and for those not aware, it's like in TikTok Shop, you see a product, but you get retargeted with different videos of that product, right? Some are top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. And top of the funnel is like general, kind of entertaining and a little bit of product knowledge. Middle of the funnel is like more product knowledge, like why is it good, why is it better than competition, and then bottom of the funnel is really like they know it, they're 50-50, they just need that little nudge to go buy that product, right? So bottom of the funnel videos, Lyss, we'll share one here of Lyss with a bottom of the funnel video. Typically it's generated around like sales or out of stocks or kind of the urgency to buy, right? So yeah, anything to add on the kind of funnel? I feel like,
No, yeah, I mean, I definitely like there's a lot of strategy involved in TikTok shop, I think, which is what I learned, and that's what I'm pretty good at. So
yeah,
like figuring out what's on sale, like watching for those things, like that
okay.
kind of stuff. So mhm.
Yeah, so tell me about that. Like I have your video queued up here, but how do you find those items that go on sale? Or like, is there a search that you do, or is it just as you're browsing, you kind of make a mental note, oh, I have that product, it's on sale, let me make a video? How do you find those sale items that you can make bottom of the funnel videos for?
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to learn that you have to think a couple months ahead. So, like, if you're in
Okay.
October, we're thinking about Christmas, like that kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
for
I
sure.
didn't, so that's one thing. And then also, I kind of watch for, I don't necessarily look for things that are like already viral because there's already a lot of videos on those things. So,
Yeah.
unless I can do something really different with it that will catch someone's eye, I won't do it like that. So, what I'll typically do is look in my showcase, go through really fast, look for any red. Like that's what I used to do was
Mm,
like, okay, if this is on sale, cool. Or if there's something I really like and I like to make videos on it, I'll look and see if it's on sale. Perfect. I already know it. I know I'm passionate about it. I can stick that out there.
okay.
So that's kind of how I do it.
Yeah, you mentioned October, and the reason you did mention that is because majority of your sex or one of your biggest months was from November and Black Friday and sales
Yes.
period, right? And so this video that we're going to view is during that period, right? Of kind of Black Friday, people are figuring out what to buy.
Yeah.
Um, cool. And then this is for another mop, correct, right?
Randomly, yes.
A different mop, electronic mop, and then I will let it play, and we'll be off.
You can get Steamy right now for like the cheapest price I've ever seen this mop. Now, yes, clearly I still have the mop in the box because it was hard enough for me to mop with the first mop that I got. Excited to try this out when I can. However, to let you know about this because it's on a ridiculous sale right now. So you can get this thing for like $76 with an additional coupon from TikTok Shop. There's that additional coupon down there. I already checked. I added it to my cart. Everything when said and done, it was like $76.47, I think total. Stupid low for this mop because I hate mopping and ADHD. I'm just not going to do it yet. However, you needed to know about this because the deal is just too good. Can't not tell you. Click the orange card. I would definitely do it before they knock this price right back up. Join us next time on the episode of Will This Mop, where I find out will the mop work on multiple surfaces in my house.
Okay, cool. So as you could see, like for those on the also kind of listening in, Lyss has the mop in the box still, and never takes it out. It's just commentary pointing to the box, right? And so, truthfully, as a brand representative, those type of videos aggravate us like to the max, right? Because it's like, hey, use the product, but this works. It got sales, right? So, tell me about the video. Like, why do you think it got sales?
I think the hook probably helped because I think I said something like you can get steamy right now. I love coming up with like ridiculous hooks. So that was
Okay.
fun, you know? So I
Yeah.
said that. I had good lighting for sure. And obviously it's a popular product and it was way low during Black Friday. So the
Okay.
only reason I actually hadn't opened it is because I had just gotten it like that day. And then I saw that and I was like, I do not have time. I'm literally gonna make this and put it up. And
Yeah.
it worked. So
It
that's
worked.
yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned you had other products kind of bottom of the funnel, similar, kind of like buy it now on sale.
Hmm.
And you mentioned you kind of maybe look for that a little bit, right? As you're browsing, like, is there any products that I have, and kind of make that bottom of the funnel sale pitch
Hmm.
as well. So cool. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Of the mix of like bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel, what percentage would you kind of put your current video making percentage at? Like top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom, everything equally, whatever is.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's hard because like I feel like with TikTok Shop, if something isn't on sale, even if it's like $1 off or they make it look like it's on sale, people will not buy it because they know that
Yeah.
it's going to go down at some point. So I think most things that are like, oh, and it's on sale right now because it's probably going to be whenever someone looks at the video. So I say that, but often, I mean, I'm talking about the product or I'm saying like, I really like
Yeah.
this or a big one for me are kids gymnastics equipment. So my kids are gymnasts, so it's pretty impressive watching them flip around on those bars. So like I've
Yeah.
sold a good amount of those, and those are genuine. I'm showing what it does. Like
Right.
so
Okay.
those go well, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounds like there's not necessarily like a strategy or a rhyme or reason, but it's like whatever you're kind of feeling at the moment, whatever you feel is right, right? And
100%, yes.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, my little daughter is a gymnast as well, and I was looking through your videos. I was like, oh man, she's wanted one of these. Maybe I'll go buy one of these,
Yeah.
one of those like
Yeah.
mini bar systems.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, up next, in our pre-call, you actually mentioned that you started doing TikTok Shop videos and have recently transitioned to TikTok Shop lives
Mhm.
and kind of found success in that recently. So I definitely would like to maybe go into what were your first lives, or why did you even try lives? Did you want to try something different, or like, what was that soiree into lives? What did that look like?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I a lot like what I'll say about TikTok Shop is while there is some skill involved or like some like knowledge involved of knowing what you're doing, a lot of it really is luck and timing and the right product. So like I am always very upfront about that, and not one strategy works for everybody, but if
Yeah.
it's not a good product, it's not going to sell, period. Like
Yep.
that's kind of the thing, right? So I had gotten reached out to by Miss Rachel's TikTok shop, which I didn't even know existed,
Mhm.
but they were doing a big drop of the doll. And so I knew about that. They only contacted like maybe 15 of us. And to be perfectly honest with you, I still don't know why I was one of them. I was not making that much money before.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. Like, if they just saw me and they're like, oh, she's a mom and has followers, I have no idea. But I
Yep.
did get that information. And then I went to go see if I could get the doll because Walmart had dropped it early. And I did. I got my hands
Yeah.
on it. So the day that it dropped, and I knew what time and everything. So I made a video, I posted it, and then I was like, I wonder what happens if I go live with this thing. I'd never gone live except on like random things before, not for shop. So I was like,
Mhm.
I guess I just tag it and go. Like I didn't even know really what I was doing. And I just jumped on and it took off. Like it was like 2 hours. There were thousands of people in there, just constantly things were like I had no idea what was going on. And then it sold out on that live. So it was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then like I ended up on a call with the people from that. Like there, it was just a lot at
Okay.
once on that Sunday.
So a couple things I took from there. One is a drop, right? So this live was centered on a drop. So all attention on this product drop for a well-known character as well, or well-known brand, well-known character. That drop
Mhm,
happened, but you didn't even have the product. This is the other thing that I take away from this, which is not a lot of people would do or think about doing, but you went to Walmart and got the product knowing that there's a drop that's going to happen, right?
mhm,
Maybe an average person would be like, oh, I don't have the sample, so I can't do anything, right? And so
mhm.
you're like, wait a minute, no, like, let me go. I know this drop is happening. Let me go kind of take my, into my own hands and, make it live. So yeah, I mean, going out of the way to kind of trying to make things happen is definitely, you were able to reap the rewards for that one. So
Mhm.
cool. Cool. And then you said you made like 5,000 on that initial.
Yeah, that commission was awful, which is such a bummer. It was like
Yeah.
5%, but
Yeah.
I made them like $56,000. So they loved me. Like that was that
Yeah.
one live stream, but then I think I made like maybe 3,500, which still wasn't bad, but like at
Right.
the same time it was like not what it should have been,
Right.
but they
But now you
also
have
know. Yeah.
like you said, you have an open relationship now. They probably go to you for future drops or,
Mhm.
maybe even paid collaborations, etc. So
Yeah,
yeah, it all kind of builds on itself. So
for sure.
cool. All right. And then you mentioned before that, you were pretty much all product videos, and now you're like 50-50 lives and
Mhm.
and videos. How are you finding the lives? You like, is it something that you kind of like and you think you think you're always going to be 50-50, or you think you're going to transition to lives, or what are you leaning towards at the moment?
It's a good question. So I'm a therapist, right? I do a
Yep.
lot of listening, like a lot of listening.
Yeah.
So with lives, it's kind of nice because I just get to talk and people
Okay.
have to listen to me.
Okay.
So like that's been kind of like a nice outlet, honestly. And I've only gone live with things that I like and can really talk about. So it's fun for me. And I think the reason I transitioned into it is because I mean, hitting Q1 after having such a successful Q4 and like being very blown out of the water, and then coming into Q1 and being like, oh, everything just stops kind of for
Yeah.
most people. I was like, what do I do with this? And I think TikTok has just been pushing lives so much. And I was like, well, I can do it. I'm not afraid and I like it. So then
Yeah.
I kind of picked things that I liked and I usually do pretty well. And then I was able to get some recently some flash sales that has gone very well for me, and I
Yeah.
really know how to push those. So that has been it's like strategy. It's kind of like a puzzle, kind of figuring
Yeah.
out what makes the most sense. So did that completely answer that
Yeah, no,
question?
for sure. I would say like you touched on something with flash sales. Like, so for those not aware, a brand will create a flash sale for the duration of your live to give your viewers an extra incentive to buy during those lives. So
Mhm.
how do you kind of get those set up? Does a brand bring it up to you? Do you bring it up to the brand? How do you kind of approach that? The
Yeah,
flash sale?
so with the one that I've only ever done one, and I've just been sticking with it because it's been
Yeah.
going well. But the product, I loved the product, and it was they, like the February restock, they had everything that was like a big campaign for TikTok. So things
Uh-huh.
just went way down in price. And that was one of the products. And so I went live with it just because I like it and I wanted to see what would happen. And
Mhm.
it went really well. And so I did that a few times, and then I went to them and said, "Hey, I've made you guys this much money. Like,
Yeah,
will you give me some flash sales?" And they're like, "Sure, we'll try
of
it." And
course.
then
Yeah.
that went well, and so then it kind of just went from there.
Yeah, so many cool tidbits to pull from here. It's like, don't be afraid to ask your brands for flash sales. Like, I know when working for brands, people who go lives are very few. There's not a lot of people who go. I mean, there are a ton out there, but like brands don't necessarily have access to all of them, right? And so if
Mhm.
there's a affiliate that wants to make a live for your brand or wants to do a live, they'll gladly give a discount to that live's audience, right? And so it doesn't hurt to ask as an affiliate, right? And it'll improve your numbers for sure, right? Because your viewers will get a better deal. One of the questions I ask is, when you have success, there's inevitably going to be some, failures or low moments, etc. And you touched on it a little bit, right? You had a like blew it out of the water in Q4, December, November, and then you said the New Year came around and it kind of went down, and kind of like no, like everyone would look at that moment and kind of like, is this right for me? Maybe like kind of digress or do something else. But you're like, wait a minute, let me try lives, right? So I think that's important to note as well. Like you took your future into your own hands and kind of did lives. Um, yeah, yeah. I just want to pull that out. Like, how did you what kind of propelled you to lives? Is it something? I know you said Miss Rachel and the drop, but like anything else? Like more like I need to try something to shake it up a little bit, or what was your driving factor?
Not as yes and no. So, like, I would say yes, because I kind of realized all I'm seeing are them pushing these freaking lives at
Okay,
me, like, when I'm scrolling. So I was like, "Okay,
right.
there's something to that." So
The
I decided
algorithm.
to try yes, the algorithm, exactly. And the way I was jumping on lives before was, like, when things would go really low, I would jump on. I mean, that happened again with so you said Miss Rachel, Tony's as well, that coveted Doggyland Tony, which is Snoop Dogg on a Tony. It's ridiculous. It's so
Okay.
fun. It's so funny. And like I didn't even have it. I would not recommend this. I didn't even
Uh-huh.
have it, but I went on live with it, just being like, "Hey, here's not that, but it's in the cart if you want it." And like
Yeah.
I sold a ton of them that way. So it's like, like there's some that happened and I was like, "Oh, this is fun. This is dopamine. I like this." And so
Yeah.
then like I just decided to jump on with a couple more things and that's how I kind of got the flash sales started and now I've been talking to some people and trying to figure out like is this a direction I want to go. So
Yeah, yeah. So would you say that your lives audience is similar or the same audience, and it's more like you need to be consistent so you grow your audience and then you kind of build from there? Or would you say it's kind of like new audience every time you go live, or like kind of I've always been curious on like live audiences and how that
that's a
carries over.
yeah, it's a really good question. I think it depends. Right now, I
Okay.
would say yes. I have a lot of people coming back from like I'll recognize names just because they stand out to me or
Mhm.
whatever as they like pop in and I'll say hi and stuff. But like I think it's because I'm doing giveaways as well, which is also a piece of this. So like
Yeah.
I have some giveaways that people want. So then they
Yeah.
come back. And the more you have that, the more traffic you're gonna get in general. But in for the most part, I would say it's probably pretty new. I don't think it's a lot of follower.
Mm.
Like because it's just kind of out there. So if you're
Yeah.
searching for these things, it's going to pop up for you at some point, right?
Got it, got it. And then let's go there. Giveaways. Who is kind of fronting these giveaways? Is it coming from the brand? Is it kind of you doing it to build your audience? Like, what's the giveaway process look like?
Yeah, I actually didn't know you could do that. Can you do that? That's a good question. I didn't know you could give away things on your own, but no, the brand.
Yeah,
That's all yeah. And I didn't even ask for that. That was just something they said, "Hey, well, here's your flash sale, and also here's 5 of this to give away each stream." And I was like, "Cool, no idea what that
yeah,
means. I'll figure it out." Like that's
yeah,
kind of like how everything's been. And then I realized why. And I
Right.
was
To
like, "Oh, okay."
engagement, keep them in like, so how do you, why is that for those not aware? Like, why do you have giveaways and how do you kind of use that as a tool for your lives?
It's absolutely a tool. So the way I run it, it kind of depends on the night. If it's really slow and it's just like dead, I will go ahead and just start one so that so you can have it a couple different ways. You can have it where people comment or people follow you. I never make them follow me because I feel like that's
Uh-huh.
not whatever. But like I have them comment just a word, and when they're commenting, that's going to hit the
Yep.
algorithm that oh, there's engagement, things are happening, and it brings more people in. So
Yep.
all they have to do is comment to be entered in, but they also have to be there when it does the drawing, so it makes them stay in your life too.
Mm,
So which that's not my rule. That's TikTok rule. That's just how
yep.
that works. So it's like it's incentives for people to like share it or whatever. And if it's really dead, I'll be like, oh, if we get 4 more shares, we'll do a giveaway. Or I'll be like, oh, if we get through 2 more of these sets, we'll do a giveaway. That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. How does a kind of live session start with you? Do you have a format? Like, how do you kind of pass the time? Like, what's the big, you know, thought process that you have within a live? How do you kind of communicate throughout a live? Like, you're on for 2 hours. What do you talk about for the 2 hours?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a script. Like, honestly, when people say like, I didn't write it, but it just kind of
Uh-huh.
came up
Sure.
as I went through. I know I did a lot of research about the brand. I knew the points, like I knew the points of the product. I knew how to talk about them. I knew the pain points that people had and then what people might ask. And I also picked that up as I went over time, like, oh, people are asking about this, this,
Yeah.
and this. And so I would know. And then that's just what I do. I mean, I explain each thing. I explain like for this is to give you an example, like this is a
Sure.
hair care line, so it's like I'm explaining each of the products and what I have a flash sale for,
Yeah.
and then people usually ask questions during that. But
Yeah.
if they don't, I just explain them all. I explain the bundle. I explain the flash sale. I go through who it's safe for, who like that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And typically by that point, someone will have like that. That's a good
Yeah.
amount of time before people will start asking things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of it's just a do it
Yeah.
over and over again.
So
Yeah.
I guess to summarize, if I will, starting the live, you have a idea of what the product is, how to talk about it, maybe like 5 minutes of kind of talking about something, and you will say that until kind of maybe someone has a question. You can expand on that question. You
Mhm.
know, same principles, same product information, and but you kind of just talk about that to that person. And inevitably, as the crowd gets bigger, more questions, entice with more questions, with some giveaways, etc., and then kind of generate the live kind of engagement as
Yeah.
time goes on, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay. Awesome. So many notes there. You know, your what you shared with lives is awesome. I know it's gonna help a lot of people. And then kind of how we talked about your video making styles, right? And kind of bottom of the funnel and then kind of just general product information, how you go about it. So thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Um, yeah, so just a quick note here, affiliateacademyhq.com. We're gonna have Lisa's interview up there, and then she shares all the different ways to be an affiliate, with live. So we have all these different sections in our community. Go ahead and check it out, affiliateacademyhq.com. And then on to the last part of the interview is the speed round, right? So rapid fire questions. I'll shoot them your way and answer the best you can.
Sounds good.
All right. So what is the highest GMV you generated in a month?
In a month,
Yeah.
126K, I think.
Love it. Okay. And then this, correct me if I'm wrong, was in November, correct?
Mhm.
You
That
told me.
was
Okay.
in November.
Cool. And then, were you able to buy anything cool with that money or did you kind of store it away?
We paid off a lot of credit card debt is what we did with that
I
money.
love it.
So,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed to breathe a little bit deeper now and kind of like off your shoulders. So that's beautiful.
mhm.
What's one piece of advice you wish you had when you first started?
I would say literally learn what a hook learn what a hook is, don't have any dead space in your videos, and don't talk for a super long amount of time because people do not have that attention span. Like those are like the 3 big things.
Love it. That's perfect. Yeah. So yeah, definitely a recurring theme with advice that affiliates have, right?
Mhm.
Um, Hook is definitely the most important. Dead space for sure. And actually, you mentioned earlier about like lighting. Make sure you're not
Yeah.
in a dark
It's
spot. You want to
you.
be seen. Yeah. So I love those pieces. Okay. How do you think you can improve as a TikTok shop affiliate, video maker, or a live creator? Like, what are some areas of improvement that you think you maybe want to work on?
I think the biggest thing would just be not being hard on myself on day like, you cannot control whether or not a video goes somewhere. Like, you can do
Yeah.
you can have I've seen amazing content that goes nowhere for people. Like, it really
Yeah.
truly depends. And the more you can get in with brands, the more likely they are to boost it, and that is what is going to make your video go viral 90%
Okay.
of the time. So,
Okay. So
yeah,
you're a big advocate of sharing your Spark code with brands and
mhm,
then them kind of boosting it with ad dollars. And that's what
definitely.
we suggest as an agency, right? We represent brands. And so one of the things we do is as a video gets popping, we say, hey, let's put some ad dollars behind it. And it's proven to get views, it's proven to get sales. Let's support it with ad dollars and kind of grow it from there. So
Mhm.
definitely on the same page with that one. Um, so what do you look for in products to promote, right? You have this huge Target, Walmart field of products. You see what you like and don't like. What are some of the characteristics of a product that you're like, okay, that's for me, or let me get a sample of that, or
Definitely, I look for things that are like if it's a beauty or skincare or something like cruelty free, that kind of
okay,
stuff, like natural thing, like that kind of stuff, but also just things that I know that I would be passionate about, like things for my kids, things that I can show that either I have skills at or my kids have skills, like something like that. I'm
yeah,
pretty selective in that way. And anytime I haven't been, it never goes well. So
yeah.
that's kind of, yeah.
That's the barometer. Okay, cool. I like
Mhm.
that. And then the last question here: what are some future plans for Lyss? Like, what do you have in store? Kind of any goals or future plans on how to get there?
Um, I'm trying to figure out lives right now. Like I'm kind of in that
Okay.
next tier of like, okay, now I've been doing it a little bit more often. So now I might get a little more attention from brands. And so that might go somewhere. And I'm with an agency. So I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So that would be like the next thing,
Lives.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kinda like it piqued your interest. You saw some
Mhm.
success in it. Let's see how that goes, how far it goes, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. Okay, yeah, keep an eye out for Lisa's lives. We'll have all of your information, your handles and TikTok
Cool.
handles in the show notes below. But yeah, that concludes it for today's episode. Lisa, thank you so much. Your wealth of knowledge. I'm sure the community is gonna take what you have and use it, and it's been very helpful for them. So thank you so much for your time today, Lise.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining in, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.